All right, welcome back, guys. In this lesson, we're going to talk about probably the most important thing that you should be doing in your email marketing scheme. That is sending campaign emails. These are going to generate so much revenue for you. The hard part is sticking to it and constantly pumping them out. So first of all, I want to talk about the purpose of the campaign email, how often you should send them. I'm going to give you a bunch of ideas as to what should go into those emails. And then we're going to talk about how to set that up and some more content and just giving you some examples of what that looks like. Then I'm going to, guess what? Assign you to send some campaign emails. Okay, so the purpose of the campaign, first of all, it's a one-time send. Okay, so you're sending it to a pre-established segment of your list. You can send it to the entire list, and we'll often do this when big things are happening. But more often than not, we're segmenting, and we want to send it to engaged people or VIPs. And, really what we're fighting for here is open rates, click rates, and of course, purchases when it comes to it. This is a newsletter, commonly known as, right? Or an announcement or a promotion. Individual campaigns can be created and sent right now. I actually often do that. Not a lot of people do, but because I live in a fast-paced world, sometimes I'll just write an email and send it right then and there. Or you can schedule it, and you can schedule dozens of emails well into the future and just let them run. I recommend not going too far into the future, because when something changes in the geopolitical climate and there's some touchy thing that you have in there, you can get in trouble. The best way to look at your list and your email marketing campaigns as a whole is that your list is a bank. And what I mean by that is you must make deposits into that bank. You must make deposits of value, more specifically, because as we say, there's money in the list, but in order to withdraw that money, you have to prime them. You have to give them value. You can't always just be taking out money after, withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, going into overdraft, because people are going to stop opening your emails. They're going to stop purchasing. Your list is going to dry up. So I really want you to focus on this kind of jab, 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 left hook approach of offering value, value, value. Okay, now I want your money, right? And, the next question I always hear after that little spiel is how often should I send? And the answer to that completely depends on a lot of things. But I want you guys to understand that people are on your list because they want to be on your list. And if they don't want to be on your list, we're going to allow them to unsubscribe so easily. It should take them seconds, because we actually want them off. When I see unsubscribes, I'm like, great, good. That's just making my list cleaner, right? Without me having to do anything extra. Thank you for getting off my list. You don't want to be on it. But when it comes to e-commerce emails, you should be sending at least one per week, at the very least. And people who have been in kind of B2B space, or even the brick and mortar retail space, that even surprises them. They're like, well, I don't know. I don't want to bug my people more than, once a month. And it's like, no, this is where this is where the revenue comes from, guys. And you want people comfortable with you in their inbox. If you don't show up for a month every time, maybe some of them will be happy to see you, but a lot of times, they're just going to be like, oh, forgot about these guys. Don't want to hear from anymore. Is that too many? No, absolutely. I want you to send up to 2 to 5 per week if you can. 7 once every single day is fine. I'm sure you guys are subscribed to a lot of these massive brands, and the only thing really holding many of our clients back and our students back is time, right? Because it takes time and effort and work to get these things up, ready, proofed, and out. Okay. And then, create a calendar where you can, take the load off of you're not waking up and being like, hey, what should I send today? What should I send today? Have it all ready, have them pre-built, have them scheduled, and you will be crushing it in no time. Okay. So really half the time what we're working on is deliverability. So we want to get in people's inboxes, not in their spam box, not in their promotions box. And the way you do that, again, is going back to delivering value. Okay, so making content that's not just sell, sell, sell. Give them a reason to open that. Give them a reason to reply to your email if you can. This is, like I said, 50 to 75% of the stuff we send is value-based. Yes, we're going to be driving them back to the website consistently. Yes, these emails are also going to make purchases and make revenue, but we're not going to be just driving home sell, sell, sell every single one. Okay, I want to give you some ideas for stuff that could be content related rather than, maybe there's some purchase stuff in here too, but let's start out with if you write a blog consistently. That's a great, easy one to just pump out there in your email. You don't want to put the whole blog in the email. You want them to click through so they can read the rest on your website. An amazing way to get opens, an amazing way to get clicks, right? Use how-to, top 10s, of course, just like you would in your blog. And not only that, it's going to juke your SEO too. As you drive more traffic to that site, Google's going to recognize people are interested in this content. All right, put in your best sellers. Oftentimes we have a block of products in every single email. Sometimes it might be lower down. So you can put your value up top, put your products below. But also, there's nothing wrong with going functional and featuring your best products and why they are your best products, right? As an email in and of itself. Okay, pre-order emails. You got something new coming up, even if you don't have a specific date for it to launch, get people to opt in. They don't have to purchase per se. You can get them to click a link that just puts them on a specific list, that'll segment them onto its own list, so that when you do launch your product, you know that there's 10,000 people super interested, or even just 500, right? New product launches, collections, absolutely. Those are always great things to be talking about, especially for your VIP segments. If you have people that purchase from you 2 times or more, 3 times or more, they're going to be interested in new products that you're launching, right? An amazing way to increase your deliverability is getting those really heated up lists where you can get like 80, 90% open rates on, where everybody's just so interested. Giveaways, absolutely. Have contests, get people to opt in, get people to like triple opt in from your list, right? They're already on it. Get them clicking things that get them into different segments. Really great way to do things. If you launch a spin to win, for example, let people know, hey, we just put this spin to win up. Come check it out. Even if they've purchased before, they're probably going to try it out. Number 6, specific offers and conversion focused. Absolutely. This is why it's number 6, is because we've already done a few other value-based ones. You always want to be pulling the trigger at some point though. We're not in this just to give. We need to take some revenue too. And the best way to do that, emails. Send an email, send it to everyone. These big specific offers are really good to go broad with. There are, I'll get to this in a second, but the subject line is the reason people open emails. There's a great little strategy that I only pull out, 1 or 2 times a year, where you can resend the same email and just switch the subject line. And usually you can get another bunch of opens out of it and people actually get the content delivered to them. It's not recommended by any email service provider, but it works. Any kind of holiday, industry specific, Canada Day, International Coffee Day, there's an endless amount of content for you guys to be pumping out here. So just get a little creative, influencer partnerships, social proof. You get a really good review or you get a really good comment on Facebook or something. Tell people about it, right? Send it out. Referrals. Send a segment of previous buyers who engage with your content, right? Get people referring their friends to your brand and give them a discount for doing that. Give them a benefit for doing that, right? There's tons of apps out there, at least on Shopify, that allow this to be really easy, really seamless process with your customers. Flash sales. There you go. Another transactional one. Absolutely. When it comes to offer strategy, it's not always good to have just big discounts constantly running one after another, big events. And what really helps there is to just, have a flash sale on a specific collection. Have one product be like, for the next 4 hours, we're selling this at 50% off. Buy that. And then every, month or 3 months even, that's when you do your big site-wide promotions that just, pulls the trigger on every single person on your list. And bonus idea, buy now, pay later. So kind of like pre-order, but Not really. Actually, you give them the product, and we use apps for this as well, like Sezzle or Afterpay or Klarna. These are getting really big right now. It's kind of like, paying in installments or, layaway essentially. All right, we talked about this a couple minutes ago, but I just want to rehash it with a bit more info. And that is the resending campaigns to people who did not open the email originally. Now, the concept here works, absolutely, but it's potentially harmful for your deliverability, right? So this is one of the strategies that can, if you do it too much, you can end up in people's spam folders. We do not want that. So this strategy is reserved for like the big ones, BFCM. We want to be pumping as much juice out of this campaign as possible. So we'll resend, switch the subject line, and send it only to the people who did not open. And funny enough, you can like sometimes get a higher open rate on that second send. However, you can also get, ruined in the process. So it's a great little strategy. Keep it in your back pocket for when you really think you need it. And another really good thing to think about here, guys, is yes, you see your open rates are 28%, 35%. As you start sending, those numbers start to kind of like, they'll fluctuate a little bit, but they start to level out. Those are not the same people opening the email every time. That 35% could be a completely different 35% than the email you sent the day before. So keep that in mind when you're sending, and you're not spamming people if they're opening those emails. If they're staying on your list, they want to be on your list. So only, adjust your strategy when you start to see spam complaints or massive amounts of opt-outs, right? That's when you know it's time to be like, okay, maybe we're going too much. Maybe we need to switch the strategy. All right, so let's talk a little bit about examples and action items. And here's an example from our good friends at Ocean Sports. They have GIFs in there. It's heavily branded. It is, all the colors, lots of images, products listed. It's kind of a lengthy scroll. And that's great. It's a very promotional, it's very heavily branded. And that's all well and good. You don't always have to send emails like that, though. And it really depends on your brand. For example, here's me. I send an email almost every day. It's plain text. It's just the only image in it is like a daily photo that I'll take just to kind of, it's almost like I've been kidnapped and like, here's today's paper. But I just want people to know that this is coming from me. This is personal. This is not written by like my assistant and I just put my thing on it. This is me talking as an expert who's worked with hundreds, if not thousands of e-commerce stores. And it's incredibly plain text with a very defined call to action and very few links. Okay, so again, it's totally on you how you want to do this, how you want to structure your campaign emails. Final thoughts is that, you know what, guys? Send them as much as you possibly can. I know it feels like a big amount of work when you've got all your flows up and you're like, hey, my email's done. I just got to let my flows tick away. Flows will be like 7% of your revenue. Campaigns will be like 23 to 30% of your revenue. Like campaigns are where the money's at. When people exit your welcome flow, essentially they're entering your campaign flow. Okay, so yes, we're all about automation and whatnot, but it's only going to take you so far. When someone exits an abandoned cart flow without purchasing, they enter your campaign flow, right? For lack of a better word, it is a flow. You're constantly sending. It's very topical information, and get in the habit of sending at least once a week. Okay, so your action items for today, I want you to send 2 campaign emails this week. Make it happen. All right, guys, that is it for the email module. Can't wait to see you in the next one.